In 2023, Honda revealed the 11th generation Accord, and for 2024, that new 11th generation pretty much comes over unchanged. Starting in the 2023 model year, Honda is leaning really hard on its hybrid powertrain setups. Out of all 6 trims that you can get, 4 of them are hybrid. You only have 2 trim levels where you can get a traditional gas-only engine. Those 2 gas-only engines are the EX and the LX. This is the EX option. They, of course, are the most inexpensive options. So today I'll show you my favorite parts of this redesigned Accord, and just a hint, it is not the front or the side of this vehicle. I love the rear. And then we'll get inside the car and show you the interior, all the fun tech, all the cool things that are happening on the inside, and then of course take it out on the road for a test drive and show you how this thing operates out in the real world. If you are new to the channel here, thank you so much for finding us. Hit the big subscribe button below and hit the thumbs up for us as well. Turn on notifications also so you know whenever we upload a new video. And of course, as always, follow us on Instagram at Overdrive Reviews. I appreciate all the support so far. All right, let's hop in and get going here on this 2024 Honda Accord EX. At this angle, look how cool this car looks. I mean, it's a family sedan, of course, just front-wheel drive, but it looks sportier than your traditional Accord does. And this is not even the sport option. You can kind of tell because of all the black trim down here and black cladding that is on the car and these smaller 17-inch wheels. This is not the higher-end options. By the way, since we're at the tires here, these are 225/50 R17 wheels on these 17-inch rims. They're kind of grayed out, like kind of a little bit gunmetal-y. You do have 4 disc rotor brakes all the way around here. I don't love all the black plastic cladding and trim all the way down the car, but again, when you're only spending, you know, $31,000 versus $40,000 for the EX trim, that's kind of what you get. Let's get back to the front here. You do have LED lights up front here and the headlamps. You do have the Honda Sensing suite of safety technology all built in to the front of the car here, both in the front emblem and then also up on the windshield right here above and behind the rear view mirror, all built in to the front of the car. And back down here at the front grille feels a little chintzy, a little more cheap than I would like it to feel. I mean, there's a lot of give and play in this thing, and it's brand new. Of course, keeping costs, keeping weight down and everything, I understand that, but a little too chintzy for a Honda in my opinion. There are no fog lights here on this EX model. I do love the big Honda symbol. I feel like emblems get larger and larger every single year. I like that Honda was able to kind of integrate Honda Sensing into all of this as well. Let's get over here to the side of the car and back up so you get a nice side profile of it. It is a sleek, handsome, pretty car, don't you think? You don't have any of the turn signals here in the side view mirrors, unfortunately, but you do have, obviously, those options on the higher trims. On this car, you only have the touch to lock option only on the driver's door. On my 2018 Accord, I could touch any door and lock the car. On this one, you cannot. It is just the driver's door as where you can tap with the key in your pocket and open or lock the car. And of course, up top, you do have a sunroof as well. And please excuse all of the bird droppings. I parked this under a tree a moment ago, and the birds went nuts for some reason. Not sure what the deal was there. But more of that black cladding back here on the rear. You do have dual exhaust, but it is unfortunately not together, not very sporty looking. It's one pipe on each side. So you can say dual exhaust, but it's not as perhaps aesthetically sporty looking as you might think. But I love the sloped kind of roof line back to the trunk here. Look at that, almost flat entirely from the rear all the way to the trunk. And you do have these brand new tail lights here, again, for the 2023 model year into this now 2024. The rear of this vehicle is my favorite. And I flipped the car around to show you my favorite part right back here. I love this big light bar. Look at how luxurious and just refined and more premium that makes this Accord look. I think a lot of car companies are doing this big kind of center bar now, really kind of show it off in a different way. I like it quite a lot. You do have LED lights in the back here for your brake lights, and you have very small reverse lights right there and right there, and of course your backup camera built in. It is not the most clear backup camera, I will say. For as great as this car is and for as quality as a Honda usually is, the camera is a little lackluster. I don't love it. More of that black cladding down here. Let's talk cargo space while we're back here. Okay, in the back of the Accord, a large trunk, 16.7 cubic feet of space. The lip right here is a little difficult to get over because of the tight little space right here. A larger bag might be awkward to get in, so just be aware. Once you get it in, it's easy to maneuver around. 16.7 cubic feet of space, and then of course, with the rear seats down, you do have more room. Not a totally flat rear seat that goes down, but you do have more room with that. And then of course, down below, you do have your jack for any emergencies, and then a temporary spare tire. Let's talk power here on the 2024 Accord. As I mentioned at the top of the video, there are two engine options. This right here is the gasoline-only option. It's 192 horsepower, 4-cylinder, turbocharged with 192 pound-feet of torque. Good for a 0 to 60 mile per hour sprint of about 7.2 seconds. The miles per gallon on this, pretty impressive as well. Not outwardly amazing. 29 city, 37 highway for a combined of about 34-35 between the city and the highway. So what about the hybrid setup? That is also a 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors pumping out a combined 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. Good for about a 6.5 second sprint from 0 to 60 miles an hour. So two different engine options, the LX and the EX, the base models, the two most inexpensive options, are the ones that get the gasoline engine, 192 horsepower. All of the hybrid options, the EXL, the Sport L, and the Touring, all get the more powerful 204 horsepower 4-cylinder. Both engines are front-wheel drive only, and both come with that continuously variable transmission, the CVT. And if you do opt for one of the hybrid trim models and the hybrid engine, you can go 450 plus miles on a tank of gas. It's actually quite incredible. That's a lot of range compared to what you might get on the normal model. And for all my EV lovers, myself included, 450 plus miles on a tank, that is quite incredible. So let's hop in the inside of this Accord here and talk about all the fun features it has. Let's start with the door. I start with the door only because I'm a big advocate of a strong sound door is going to usually mean a strong sound, enjoyable vehicle. I do love the different tones here they use. It's a higher quality plastic for sure. Some nice soft touch points right here in the center, along with the softer beige sort of armrest area right here. You do have auto up and down passenger and driver windows, but not for the backs, only the front here in this Accord. These are the same buttons that have been in the Accord for about 4 or 5 years. So the whole car got a refresh, but the buttons are pretty familiar and you should know what's going on with those. Down here, a relatively small little pouch, a little area to put stuff. It's not big at all. For as large as this car is, those pockets could certainly be bigger. Let's hop inside here, get into the driver's seat and turn the car on. It is a push button start hidden right here behind the stalk for the windshield wipers. Very easy. And new for 2023 and up into 2024, obviously, is this brand new digital gauge cluster. It is standard on every single trim. It is a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster. Previous Accord models, before it was refreshed, had half digital on one side and analog on the other. I do love that Honda is committing to digital all over the place, because you can do all kinds of things with this digital gauge cluster. I mean, over here you can scroll this wheel up and down and do all sorts of things. Go from range and fuel to talk about your different gauge display settings and different car settings and your safety features, and change the brightness, all sorts of things. And on this side, you can actually push this in and actually change what you want to see over here. You can have your music, you can have your entertainment, you can customize the display and make it look different, kind of customize it to what you want. So Honda giving you the digital customization that cars in the 2020s deserve. Let's talk about the door sound. Since I'm obsessed with doors, it is a solid sound. Sound is solid for sure. No complaints on the sound of this. I'm going to pop the window so I don't get overheated here. Let's talk about the steering wheel. A nice solid steering wheel. This one is not a leather wrapped steering wheel, unfortunately, but it is solid. It is firm in your hands. This plastic piece down here is a little chintzy feeling. A big change for 2023 model year, the 11th generation, is this honeycomb ventilation system. This is borrowed from the Civic and the CR-V, and I kind of like it. It's a little gimmicky at first when you kind of first interact with it. You can see in there the panels move as you kind of move this back and forth and close it off and send it in the right direction. The honeycomb look actually is growing on me as I've been driving this for the week. Let's talk about the screen. Not so impressed with the screen. This again is one of the more affordable base models, the EX. So this is only a 7-inch touchscreen. The option for a larger screen is a 12.3-inch infotainment screen that then comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. This still has Android Auto and CarPlay, but it is not wireless. You do have to plug it in to one of those two USB-Cs down below. And speaking of this area, a nice little area to store your phone, to store your keys, store other little knickknacks and things as you're driving. It's a nice deep area to put things and let them be out of your way. Automatic climate control here as well. You do have dual heated seats. And let me tell you something, within 35 seconds of turning this on, you know the seats are being heated. On the dash up here, more plastic of course, but relatively nice plastic. Honda is doing a nice job at both cutting costs, keeping costs down, and still giving you a quality material at the end of the day. Back here to the center, you do have your gear shifter right here, pretty standard stuff. Sport, low mode as well. You do have an econ option for more green driving, and then of course you have your idle start and stop button, which I wish again cars would just get rid of and let me decide if I want that to be on my car. It's never an option, it's always just there. This right here, the brake hold, is a nice option. As someone who drives an EV full time and never has to actually hit the brake and then hold your foot on the brake at a stop, the brake hold option is great. You do have dual cup holders. One is deeper than the other, but they are deep enough to hold any kind of drink. That way it doesn't topple over. But up top, let's talk about the sunroof. A nice sunroof here for you. This cover feels a little chintzy. I mean, it literally is just like a piece of formed cardboard, it feels like, but it does block out the sun whenever you need it to. This of course controlled right here with the touch of a button. It goes back and opens up, pops up, open as well. You do have your vanity mirrors here on both sides as well. I'm always a big vanity mirror fan because you got to check yourself out. Make sure you can block the sun as needed. Both of these extend as well, and good on Honda for making that an option. So many car companies just ditch that. Another thing you want to talk about too is the speaker system in this. If you do want a better sound system, you're going to have to upgrade it to the touring model, the most expensive model, because that comes with a 12-speaker Bose system. This one is just the basic system. I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 or 7 speakers, depending on how many are in the back. Let's talk seats real quick. These are super comfortable cloth seats, and look how bolstered they are. They really hold you in place nicely. Honda did some re-engineering to make these support your torso better, and let me tell you something, they are comfortable as crap. I have been really enjoying the longer highway drives and things I've been doing this week. The cloth seats do come standard on the 3 most inexpensive trims, so the EX, the LX, and the Sport. All other trims from EXL, Sport L, and Touring all come with leather. But let me tell you something, you still get a nice bang for your buck with these cloth seats. They are cushiony, they are soft, yet supportive, and I have no complaints with them whatsoever. Nice job on Honda for making these comfortable, supportive, bolstered seats. Let's hop into the back seat and check out what's in there for rear passengers. Here in the back seat, plenty of room for your average adult, maybe 3 adults here in the back seat if you can squeeze in. There is a center hump here, which I'm confused about because it's not an all-wheel drive car, so this to me seems unnecessary. Obviously it's the exhaust pipes, I believe, going to the back of the car, but this seems unnecessary for a car that is not all-wheel drive. I wish this was a flat floor. You'd get more room back here. But right now, plenty of legroom, plenty of space for my head as well. There is a swooping roofline, as I mentioned and showed you earlier, but it doesn't really impede with your head back here. The seat's comfortable, supportive as well. Nice thigh support. The door, of course, sounds the same. You do have your standard window options here, but what you don't have back here is anything else. You have no vents, you have no center charge port for your phone, so the back seat really is kind of just a standard thing, which you would think for a 2024 there might be one outlet back here for something. Nope. there's nothing. No vents, no USB-Cs or anything. You just get your standard locks and your standard windows. You do have 2 center cup holders right here in the center armrest, which is rather large and cushiony as well. That feels nice for long trips, but there is no pass-through. So if you want to put something long and wide, maybe in the back of your car here, you're going to have to put the seats down. The seats only go down, by the way, by pulling the levers in the trunk. They do not go down by just simply pushing a button here in the front of the back seat. You got to do it from the trunk. What do you say we get this thing out on the road and see what it does in our test drive? All right, behind the wheel of the 2024 Accord, it feels familiar. It feels like you've driven it a million times over, and that's actually a good thing. Over bumps and over the road, so far, it is a supremely quiet car. Doesn't have huge wheels or big rims on it, so there's not a ton of road noise at all. And when you're up at 70 miles an hour plus, it is a quiet ride. It just cruises along and keeps up with traffic without any issue. Only 192 horsepower and a 4-cylinder engine, but it is turbocharged, so there is some nice get up and go. Once we get moving here at this light, I'll kind of get on the accelerator to kind of show you what it does and what it sounds like. The engine to me is a little whiny, a little noisy, but that CVT transmission really is smooth and obviously is meant to improve efficiency. Here we go. Yeah, I wouldn't call it quick by any means, but more than enough, I guess, acceleration for the everyday average driver. More noise than I'm used to, more noise than I really enjoy. But the one thing you do understand and know when you have a Honda is that regardless of the noise, the car is well made. I do really appreciate that Honda for this year also tweaked the suspension and made this ride even more comfortable, even more fun. When you come to a stop in this car, by the way, the little digital gauge cluster shows a miniature version of your car, and it actually puts the brake lights on for you. It also displays your turn signal left or right, depending on which way you're turning, and also will display the street signs. It has traffic sign recognition, including stop signs and speed limit signs. Yeah, the car does not shake whenever you give it power. It doesn't struggle. It just is a smooth, straight line acceleration, which I really, really enjoy. I mentioned earlier the Honda suite of safety features under the Honda Sensing name, things like front crash mitigation with pedestrian detection. It has also blind spot monitoring, filled with safety features, airbags, of course, all the things you need for peace of mind out on the road and maybe with a car full of loved ones in the back. Going around some urban city turns right now under a bridge, a railroad bridge. The car takes everything in stride and not any kind of body roll that I'm noticing at all. And that tuned suspension from Honda really has gone a long way. Improves the ride quality, improves handling, just an A+ on their part for really kind of keeping their flagship sedan something desirable and something fun after all these years. It's got to be no easy task to reinvent the Accord every 4 or 5 years and make sure it's still something people can relate to and still want and still make sense for their everyday lives. And this car, being brand new, has very, very catchy brakes. They grip extremely quick. Those 4-wheel disc brakes stopping this thing in a matter of feet here. So up at highway speeds now, and you'll have to forgive the sun shining at this crazy awkward angle right now. It's winter time and it's just lower in the sky earlier in the day. But up at highway speeds, going about 55, 60 right now, I wanted you to hear what this thing sounds like. It's still insanely quiet and just an easy car to drive. The only problem that I've had so far is that occasionally the car will read people in front of me slowing down a little bit as them slowing down a lot, and the car brakes for you kind of abruptly. It happened twice already, so I'm not sure if I just have the settings wrong or if the car's automatic crash mitigation system is just extra sensitive. So I don't love that, but better for the car to be safe than sorry, I suppose. Under some heavy acceleration, the engine again is loud, but next to no road noise as far as from these wheels and these rims. There's no wind noise at all. I can't can't hear anything, nice insulation on either side. A highway cruiser to compete with the best of them. In all though, this 2024 Honda Accord is a winner in my book, an all-around package. Tons of room, tons of tech, reliability, quality materials, and just a legendary name, affordable as well, economical. In general, there is some kind of configuration for absolutely everybody. Well, that is it for this review of this 2024 Honda Accord EX. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure you're subscribed below to the channel here. Hit that big thumbs up for us, and subscribe to our channel over on Instagram as well, Overdrive Reviews. I appreciate everyone engaging with us all the time, anywhere you do. That is it for now. We'll catch you on the next one.